So if you guys wondering why we moved here to Vancouver Island, it's because of this.
So we drove for about 5 hours up north just to see these beautiful mountains of Vancouver Island. It was so amazing and beautiful, and the weather was so great, and we couldn't resist but to go out. But don't worry guys, we did our social distancing. I hope you guys see this beautiful landscape of Canada real soon.
Hi, my name is MC and welcome to my channel. So if you're new to my channel, I make videos and blog contents for international students who want to study, settle, and explore the opportunities here in Canada. So if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure that you hit that subscription button and the notification bell so you don't miss any videos that I upload every week. And also, just a quick one, if you're my SLE member, make sure that you join the SLE Student Lounge because now I'm starting my lesson 1, which is all about letter of acceptance. So it's easy to join. Just make sure that you're my subscriber. Check the link in my description box to join the group mentorship. So in today's video, we're going to talk about post-graduation work permit. So this will be for graduating students. If you're future student, if you're current students, then this video is for you. So I would suggest you guys to watch this till the end because I have a lot of tips and things that you should know before you apply for your post-graduation work permit. So there are 4 main things that we're going to talk about. It will be your eligibility, the length of PGWP, and then the requirements that I submitted, and then things to know before you apply for your post-graduation work permit. So when I say PGWP, I'm referring to post-graduation work permit. So you just do, I just don't want to say the whole word. So the first one will be the eligibility. There are 4 main things that you have to know. This is especially for new students, future students, because when you're choosing your school, you should know that they're eligible for PGWP. So for you to know that, you have to double check if the school is a designated learning institution. So how would you check that? So there is a website, actually it's an official website of Canada. It's a CIC website. So you have to go to CIC website, check the designated learning institution. On the right hand side of the list of the schools, you would see the eligibility, like if it's eligible for PGWP or not. So that's the first thing that you have to double check whenever you choose a school. And the next one will be the program. The program should be at least 8 months long. So let's say if you're planning to take an English learning program, which is less than 8 months, unless you continued, because there's a program where you can have it combined with a diploma, then you might eligible for PGWP. But taking an English program alone wouldn't meet the requirement, the eligibility. And then the next one would be full-time student. You need to be a full-time student. So if you're planning to study online, distance learning, or if you're planning to study part-time, then you wouldn't be able to apply for PGWP. Just a quick one for students. If you're planning to take some courses online, part of your program, let's say, and then you're planning to credit some courses, make sure that you're still a full-time student. There is a minimum courses, number of units for you to be considered as a full-time student. So for you to double check if you're still a full-time student, go to your registrar. Before you credit something, go to your registrar and make sure that you're still enrolled as a full-time student. So I just want to reiterate that to all our new students. And then the last thing that you have to know, that PGWP is just a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, meaning you can only apply for this one just once in your life. I just said it again, once in a lifetime, yeah. So if you're planning to study for 1 year and then you apply for your PGWP, then you change your mind, oh God, I have to study again, I wanted to study again, then you wouldn't maximize or take advantage the PGWP because, let's say you study for 2 years, then that will give you more than 1 year of PGWP. So that will lead me to my next one, which is the length of the program. So when you're for you to know the length of your post-graduation work permit, for example, 1 year, you would be given up to 1 year post-graduation work permit. If you studied for 2 years, you would be given up to, I always say up to 3 years post-graduation work permit. Let's say you studied for like 2 years, but then it's an accelerated program. It's a fast track program. When you say fast track program, you're still gonna take 4 semesters, but then you didn't take the semesters break. So it's like continuous kind of thing. So that's what I did, by the way. So I did a fast track program. So I only studied for 16 months, which I'm supposed to study for 2 years. So I still got a 3-year post-graduation work permit. So I always say up to 3 years post-graduation work permit because some people get 2 years, some people get like 2.3. It really depends. So the next one will be submission of your requirements. So the first thing that you have to do is you need to have a GC key account. GC, yeah. So you need to have the GC account. So this is the account that you use when you submit your student permit. So you just have to log in the same account, same username and password, and then it will be the same process when you submit your student permit online. It will be the same process. It's easy. And then there are some questions that you have to answer that would identify if you have dependents or if you have open work permit, if there are some qualifying questions. So once you complete that and then you have the profile, then you have to submit your requirements. You have to upload your requirements. So the requirements that I submitted, the first thing is the forms. So mainly application form, family information form. I also submitted common law. This is for people that you wanted to apply, let's say you change your partner, or if you just got a recent partner, then you wanted to declare them as your common law. This is the best time for you to update your family information. So make sure that you do that now when you apply for your post-graduation work permit. And then this next one, so first is forms. And then the next one would be my passport. You have to renew your passport if, let's say, the validity of your passport is less than the length of your PGWP. Let's say if you're expecting for a 3-year PGWP, then make sure that your passport has 3-year validity. The reason being is that the PGWP expiration date will be based on the expiration date of your passport. So you wanted to make sure that you renew your passport before you apply for your post-graduation work permit. The third one is this is optional though. This is the medical upfront. So the medical, they only require medical for people that would work in a healthcare industry, or let's say personal support worker, then they might require you to have a medical. So that's why in that qualifying questions, they would ask you if you're going to work in certain industry, let's say home care, hospitals, they will ask you that, because at the end of that questions, it will ask you to submit a medical exam, medical result. So yeah. The next one will be your biometrics. So during my time, I did not submit a biometric because it wasn't required yet. So now I think they're requiring you to have a biometrics. So let's say you submitted your biometrics when you apply for your student permit, you don't really have to submit a new one. Mainly because biometrics, the fingerprints that you submitted, are kept in file for 10 years. So if you just recently submitted, let's say 2 years ago you submitted your biometrics, you don't really have to submit a new one. So just to make sure that you know that one as well. And then the next one that I submitted was my job offer. So this is optional. So I want to highlight this for people that have dependents, like you have OWP, open work permit holder, and if you have children who have student permit. So you will need to have a job offer. Otherwise, they won't be able to extend their permit or their stay here in Canada. If that happens, they might have to apply for temporary residence visa to obtain their status here in Canada. So double check that one. I'm not familiar with that because I don't have a dependent with me right now. So that's what I read. You need to have a job offer for them to extend their stay here in Canada. So the last one that I submitted is the proof of completion of my program. So there are 4 main things that you could submit. I received this question a lot. Do I need to submit a certificate, a letter of graduation, transcript? Do I have to submit everything? I would say only one document will suffice the requirement, because that's what I did. I submitted my transcript and that's it. I didn't wait for my letter of graduation. I didn't wait for my certificate or diploma. Just one requirement, because that's what it says on CIC website. So okay, so I submitted my transcript of record mainly because it's easy to get this document, because they will accept the document that you got from your student portal. So you know that you can see your transcript when you log into your student account, right? So you have a student account, you can access all your records there. You would see your unofficial transcript, and yes, they would accept your unofficial transcript. It says on the CIC website that they would accept that, as long as it says on your transcript that it's completed, your program is completed. Because sometimes, if let's say the grades are up, yeah, you know that you have all your grades there, but then you forgot to double check, is the program completed? If it's still in progress, then you won't be able to submit that. So you have to follow up your registrar once your grades are up. Follow up your registrar to change the status of your transcript, and that will only literally take them 5 minutes. So that's what I did. I emailed my registrar, hey, can you please update my transcript? I have to apply for my yada yada yada, and then she was able to do that. So I submitted my transcript and make sure that it's completed. Yeah, so the next one that we're going to talk about, the things that you have to know before you apply for your post-graduation work permit. So the first thing that I'm going to mention, this was discussed when I did my interview with Dexter. If you haven't checked that video, you should, because it's one of my success stories in my channel. So he just recently applied for his permanent residency. So he quickly touched this PGW part. When he applied for PGWP, he submitted the graduation letter. Mainly because he took a 1-year program, he said that he submitted the graduation letter because it didn't state any duration. Because if it's 1 year, he only studied from January to August. If you're going to count it, it's only 8 months. So he was afraid that the visa officer or the immigration officer would only give him like 8 months PGWP. So you know that you have options to submit different proof of program completion, right? So he didn't submit the transcript because it will state there the duration. What he did, he just submitted the letter of graduation, which stating only that you're about to graduate and done, no date and all. That is based on his experience, so it won't be different for you, because you don't know if the school will mention the duration on your letter of graduation. But as far as I know, as long as you finish 1 year, that will give you up to 1 year. Dexter was just afraid, so yeah. So if you want to check that video, it will be in my description box, and I will flash the link here in my video. And then my next tip will be the 180 days grace period. Okay, So basically, you have 180 days grace period for you to apply for your post-graduation work permit. They will give you 180 days before you apply. So take advantage of that 180 days. When I say take advantage, okay, take some rest, or if you're planning to review for an exam, like me, when I did my nursing exam, this is the time when I reviewed so much. So during my 180 days, I review for my exam. And then if you wanted to travel or you want to see Canada, make sure that you do that now, because once you start working, you don't have that time. You don't have that plenty of time to go for vacation, because the employer will only give you 2 weeks vacation, which is really sucks. And also the 180 days, use this time to look for your full-time job. Let's say you're in Toronto, you know, it's super hard to find a job there, then use the 180 days to find for your dream job. And then this will lead me to my next tip. Apply for your post-graduation work permit the night before you start, the night before the start of your job. So let's say my start date would be tomorrow, I would apply for my post-graduation work permit tonight. So you know you're going to stretch your stay here in Canada, so if you know what I mean. So the processing time, I think I processed mine like less than 90 days, and then Felix and most of my classmates, they got their PGWP for more than 100 days. So now you would know that you have the grace period, the 180 days grace period, and then you also have the implied status period, which is the waiting time for the PGWP. And then what I noticed, the expiration of my PGWP is based on the date that I got the approval. So they would not base it on the date that you completed the program. It will be based on the date that you got the approval from the immigration officer. So if you did that, like you're stretching the time, if you're planning the time, okay, I would not apply for my post-graduation work permit, I will apply for it once I got my job. So you're extending your stay here in Canada, you're maximizing it, you're taking advantage of that grace period. So to give you my timeline here, I graduated April 30th, 2019, and then I applied and then we went for a mini vacation, and then I applied for my post-graduation work permit May 12th, the night before I start my job. I started my job May 13th, 2019. And then I got my approval July 27th, 2019, and then I got my expiration date, PGWP, on July 27th, 2022. So I hope you guys like this video and you find it helpful. If you like it, of course, give it a thumbs up. And next week, I think I'm going to have another guest, so you should check it out. Okay guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you to the next one. Bye!